breaking news, and I have with me, of course, welcome to everybody to ToV, the ToV Podcast here, live recording tonight, and I am Ryan, Tales of Valhalla, and I have with me Jeremy, the Elysium Cullet, and we have a couple of guests on the panel returning. They have been on the podcast before. We got G Busy, Cody, we got Austin, Tabletop Bro, we got Lex, who's in charge of the New Generation Customs, and we were talking about Wave 1 last Sunday, as well as I had Lex on a couple weeks ago talking about New Generation Customs, and so he's back, and we're talking about the big news of the day, according to Austin, that's very important to about 4,000 people. And hopefully it's more than that.
But, stole my line, you son of a goat.
So Heroscape is back again.
Wait, just when I thought I was out of the game, they pull me back in.
Rogadil's is saying my neck is hurting from emotional whiplash. Well, my first comment on social media was, seriously?
Yeah.
It's like I still feel burned, but we'll talk about that in.
I was in a literal car accident yesterday, and it was less whiplash.
Oh my gosh! Seriously, man?
Yeah, I got rear-ended.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry.
No.
You doing good? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I committed the cardinal sin of stopping at a red light.
Oh,
wait. And I'm very jittery on coffee now. I usually don't drink coffee at all, so yeah, this is, and so just getting the hype trail rolling. It was showing off some of the trailer, because I'm releasing Tales of Valhalla stop motion Heroscape episodes like in the next few weeks, and this happens now. I was just settling down today, and I'll let you guys tell your stories in a second, but I was just settling down today. I was going over scripts. I was going to review everything that I have edited for the past 6 months, and I was ready just to rest and get ready for a nice long break. Then this drops, and I'm just like, great, I have to do something tonight. Now, don't get me wrong, I get to do something tonight. That is, okay, I'm done. What do you guys think about this? Jeremy, go ahead and start. Just a minute, and then we'll read what was announced earlier today. Jeremy, go ahead.
I gotcha. So yeah, I think I was preparing. I was going to go live earlier today because I hadn't been live in a little bit, and was prepping for that. And then I get the ping, and first I check the calendar, make sure April 1st had already ended, right? Because I'm bad at time, so I don't know if it's April Fool's. So I'm just like, come on, please don't do this. But it's not April 1st. It's June 8th, so that doesn't work. So this is a legit thing. I'm like, wait, okay. And then that's when I open the message on Discord. That's when I click the link, and then that's when I go absolutely crazy on social media and messaging everyone that I could think about. Because, what? It's back again. This is round 3. We are not stopping the fight. Let's go. We're gonna keep bringing this back. Let's go.
Apparently, when I said we're gonna do this with or without you, they kind of took that seriously, I guess.
Yeah, punching.
All right, Cody, what was your reaction?
Oh man. Well, yeah, I was at the gym when this news broke, and
Where were you working?
I immediately stopped doing what I was doing and sat on my phone for the rest of the time I was at the gym.
Chest and tries?
But no, it's leg day.
Leg day? Let's go.
Yeah. Not enough.
You put up 2 plates, don't you? You look like you put up 2 plates.
No, I'm getting knee surgery soon. So
3 plates. Got it.
3 plates. But yeah, so I just remember, I don't know, a lot was going through my mind. Same thing as Jeremy. I thought it was a joke. I think the first person I saw post on Facebook wasn't the official Renegade person that posted there. But yeah, all the wild speculating I've been doing over the last 9 months has really paid off. So
everybody's like, yes, I didn't give up hope. All right, good.
Yeah.
Austin, now you already gave a 6-minute version. Give a minute version now.
Sure. So I got the Discord message from my very own Deep Throat, and if you don't know who that is, you should probably, brush up on your American history. Jeremy hits me up, like, dude, they posted the announcement at 9 a.m. because they're based in beautiful San Diego, which is where I'm based as well. So Renegade.
Makes sense.
And yes, it's like 9:01 or whatever, and I see that and I'm like, shut the front door. Like, no, they're not. Like why? Like, what? Like, this isn't real. And then I look and it's like, bro, really? Like, and you can kind of hear it in my voice when in my own video, shameless sort of self-promotion. I'm just like, bro, this isn't this, like stop. Like, what are we doing? And then, I was doing my research and, I'm seeing like, oh, it's not crowdfunded. Like, this is actually going to happen. And it's just like, something's going to fall through. Like, they're not going to get the licensing or, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's, yeah. There you go.
Okay. 2 minutes, but we'll forgive you. Lex.
Well, no. All right, I'll try to keep this under a minute because you're being real strict with the time.
No, you're good.
No, so it was super weird. I saw that article posted. I don't think anybody had posted it in the Discord yet for Heroscape. So I remember dropping it and reading through it. And I don't know if you remember, I was on the show 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And we were talking afterwards, and we were like, yeah, I feel like they have to do something with the license. Mm-hmm. And to me, I was thinking, I didn't say it, but I was like, it probably has to be someone like Renegade, right? Because Renegade has been where every license Hasbro has, I don't want to say screwed up, but maybe missed an opportunity on, has ended up. And I mean, they kind of whipped on the Transformers TCG. They kind of lost out on Axis and Allies, and all those things keep ending up there. So I just remember reading through that. I was like, no, this is real. And I just I'm a very negative person by nature. I'm kind of a hater, I'm being honest. But I read through this and I was like, no, I think this is legit. I think they're going to go the distance, and they're at least going to get product out. Who knows what the future holds? But I think they're serious. So yeah, I'm stoked.
I've been playing a lot of FIFA lately. I don't know if you guys know what FIFA is. Great video game based on this real life sport called soccer, known as football in the rest of the world. And there's kind of this joke in the soccer world that the MLS is where the great global players go to retire. And so based on what you were saying, Lex, it sounds like Renegade is the MLS of just the board game and tabletop game industry. It's where, they couldn't cut it at Hasbro, let's just send it over to Renegade. These guys will take our sloppy seconds.
Yeah, almost. They've just done a great job with so much of it. So
that was the thing, and it was something that I wanted to talk about. Ryan, is I noticed that from all of the very limited material that we've gotten, it seems like this is being done well. And that was when I realized Renegade is not a subsidiary of Hasbro. Because if they were, it would be a show of poop. A crapshoot, if you will. But because they are free from the cruel yoke of Hasbro, it can actually be done correctly. And that's why I have hope.
There's minimal shareholder influence.
We'll talk about it. And give a shout out to my buddy who just joined the chat, Sean Gallagher. He is the voice of Sergeant Drake Alexander that you just heard in the trailer starting out, where he said, "This is a fight." You want to try and do that again, Sean, real quick?
Now this is what I call a fight.
Yeah, there you go. And he doesn't really know much about Heroscape, but he knows filmmaking, he knows voice acting, and yeah, it's always good to see you on board. Sean, how are you doing tonight?
My apologies on my fashionably late entrance.
That's fine.
I'm always better than I deserve. How are you guys?
Do you know anything about this? What's been going on?
I have totally missed the first part due to Monkey getting her little behind into bed.
That's fine. Well, how about I go ahead and read the article, and then we'll catch up. For anybody who doesn't know,
it's actually a press release, but
yeah, press release. Okay, whatever. Article, press release. I'm reading something. All right. So this is what it says: Renegade Game Studios welcomes Heroscape, expanding licensing partnership with Hasbro. Long title. Okay. San Diego, California, June 8th, 2023, and now we know where Tabletop Bro lives. Renegade Game Studios is...
It's never been a secret, but, whatever.
I didn't know. I don't know if anybody else knew. Okay.
You're clearly not caught up on my catalog, but it's okay.
Absolutely not. No. I have a list. Renegade Game Studios is excited to announce that they are finalizing expansion of their licensing relationship with Hasbro, a global leader in play, to produce the best-selling Heroscape tabletop game. And by the way, if I stumble over words, I have been drinking coffee. Originally proposed for relaunch in October 2022, yes, by Avalon Hill, the pain. On not Avalon Hill's a pain. It just I feel pain. On Hasbro Pulse's,
We all do.
Hasbro Pulse's crowdfunding.
Wait. Do we need to call you 911, bro?
Nope. HasLab fans shared an outpouring of support for the game's revival. Now the organizations have come together to usher in the long-awaited return of Heroscape for the hobby, mass, and specialty markets. Renegade will also partner with Hasbro Pulse, and that just gives me a little bit of a red flag, but we'll talk about that in a minute, to make Heroscape available to as wide an audience as possible. Fans will get to experience classic elements of the game they love with all new content alongside the introduction of terrain packs, faction boxes, and more. Going forward, Renegade hopes to introduce new models in a variety of configurations and price points for both new and hardcore Heroscape players. And quoted, Heroscape brought a lot of people into hobby gaming, and to this day, there is a robust and passionate community. We look forward to growing that community and continuing to offer new and exciting models for gamers to enjoy, said Scott, and I'm Scott, apologize if I butcher this name, Gaeta? I'm just going to say Gaeta. Said Scott Gaeta, president and publisher of Renegade Game Studios. Additionally, we will be partnering with hobby stores to give Heroscape and its community of players the best home possible, where they can make new friends and engage in exciting battles across Valhalla. Additionally, Renegade will provide online community and organized play support, including Future World It should be a Future World Championship, yeah, including a Future World Championship. I just wanted to repeat it anyway because I think that's the most exciting thing that I can see from that.
That's going to be wild.
Yeah, hobby stores can look forward to organized play and point of purchase support at launch. Fans have been clamoring for a revival of Heroscape. More like we've been fighting. Look, Scott, we've been fighting a very, very long time for this. Anyway, okay. And we've heard you. That's why we are tremendously excited to bring back and expand the beloved brand with the Renegade team, who are big fans themselves. Says, okay, that's Bradley. Okay, says Bradley Bowman, licensing director of Global Toys and Sporting Goods at Hasbro. We're celebrating this return alongside our fans and look forward to offering existing players more ways to enjoy the game and introducing a whole new generation to Heroscape and its endless imaginative potential. Heroscapers can sign up in the newsletter, blah, 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 about Renegade Game Studios, established in 2014. I'm just going to gloss over this. They have popular titles such as Power Rangers, Heroes on the Grid, G.I. Joe, role-playing, Transformers, deck-building game, My Father's Work, and award-winning titles such as Raiders North of the Sea, and The Fox in the Forest, and was there something, My Little Pony or something that you posted, Austin, on your video, I think?
You know what? I can't believe you were forgetting possibly the best game of them all, which is My Little Pony Adventures in Equestria, which is a deck building game, which my friend Sean is telling me it is actually sweaty as hell. I haven't played it, but I know a lot of My Little Pony games are sweaty speedruns.
Wow. I am so sorry. I just, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself now. And then Hasbro, well, we know about Hasbro. So yeah, things that stood out to me. Well, first of all, is it's like I want to believe, So it's more like a hopeful hype. Just because one of the things I wrote to Joe Crazy when I saw this, I'm like, too soon, it almost felt like, and it is one of my concerns. I guess we'll drop it right into concerns right away. One of my concerns being is that, and as some people talk in the chat, we'll get to the chat in a second. But one of my concerns immediately thinking was that I know the community was greatly soured near the end of the campaign, or at the end of the crowdfunding campaign last year, and to be very, very honest with you guys and the audience, I'd say between hype and sourness, I'd say I'm about 10 to 15% sour still. And I'm a very positive person. But it's just, there's a part of me that just goes, it's like a tick, that just won't let go. Do you think I'm wrong? Or I mean, do you think that there's a lot of community that feels the same way? And what do we think can be done to? I think some of the things they say are really good. I really do. There's just this dark cloud. I think above everything. Although I do appreciate the fact, and I'm sorry, I'll shut up in a second. I'll just say this one thing.
Did you drink coffee before this?
Yes,
Possibly, yeah. But I do think that it was very good that they mentioned the campaign before. They could have just not mentioned it at all. So at least, they were upfront about that. Okay, this is the past. This is the future. So, okay. Someone else talk, please.
I don't. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I don't think Avalon Hill could have touched us again if they wanted to. I think it's still nuclear for most fans. And I don't mean that in kind of a hateful way, but yeah, there's a little bit of spite involved. There's a little bit of sourness. I even feel some of that. Probably more than 15% of it, being honest. I think the language they've used in a lot of their statements has been super careful. It's been very well thought out. Just the fact that immediately they were like, yeah, we care about hobby stores, and also we care about all these product configurations. Those two things solve like 90% of the reasonable complaints that people had about the first campaign. Like, if you think about this as a whole network of all of the complaints that people who were being realistic about Age of Annihilation had, you can solve all of them by just doing the two things they said. So the fact that they led the conversation with that and they've been so receptive in the Discord, to me, I think is super promising. But I don't know that I would have trusted it coming from any company owned by Hasbro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, it might derail the conversation, but screw it. I mean, just given the various, and Jeremy knows because he loves messaging me about them. Given the various controversies that Hasbro has been involved in this year, especially with Wizards of the Coast. I mean, dude, that company in general is just nuclear, and like the fact that they even exist is honestly mind-blowing, because the amount of stuff that they have done this year between the D&D OGL scandal, sending Pinkertons, increasing the prices on D&D books, claiming it's under-monetized even though it makes them I'm trying to think of a word here that I can say, a hootenanny full of money. Hasbro itself, I am, Hasbro's #1 hater, which I think is really funny because I saw a job opening for Hasbro, and I had a friend be like, you should apply for it. I'm like, bro, they would look at my channel and they would send the Pinkertons after me. I mean, that company is just awful. So I am pretty happy that the license
now
has been severed. It is no longer under the Dark Lord Sauron.
Last fall, March 20 years I've been playing Magic, and everything Hasbro did in that consecutive 6-month gap got me to stop. It was like everything they could have screwed up, they completely dropped the ball on. And it wasn't just Wizards, it was Avalon Hill, it was, I don't want to get into it, but it's
Wait, you mean to tell? Hold up, you mean to tell me that you didn't want to pay $1,000 for a booster pack of proxy cards?
Oh, I think I missed my chance. I think the sale has concluded.
All right, I want us to refocus, though. I mean, ranting is a little bit is fine, but I'm going to redirect a little bit back to main topic, because
I think it is related to the main topic, and that we're relieved that it's not Hasbro.
Yes. Oh, yeah,
Sorry,
absolutely,
go ahead, Scott.
absolutely, yeah. But
Actually, real quick before we refocus, if you, I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you mentioned the Hasbro Pulse thing. I did a little looking. I could not find any Renegade games on Hasbro Pulse, so I went to the server. And I was quickly corrected. They do carry Axis and Allies and Diplomacy, and they just have it as part of their store. So with any luck, instead of a crowdfunding thing, what we're looking at is cool.
Yeah.
We just sell this products on the storefront.
And there's
they said that it's not going to be
it's not
crowdfunded.
going to be crowdfunded. So.
They came out the gate saying that, which, to your point, Ryan, of the sourness. Actually, wait, I don't. Scott was trying to talk, and now we're talking over him. Scott, I'm sorry. What were you going to say before? I think
me or
yeah.
Oh,
wait,
Sean?
your name's not Scott. Fuck.
Sean.
I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
Sean.
It's all good. No,
Also,
actually,
I'm sorry, Ryan, because I just said a no word. Sean, go. I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
well, as far as it goes on the business aspect of what they've done, I think they've dropped the ball from day one. And I know I'm going to sound sour here, but the marketing concept alone for what they have done to bring this back as a campaign concept, me being, I would say, from the perspective of an outsider, somebody who's not really into the game, I've never seen one thing outside of with what we've been doing to bring this in front of the eyeballs of a new, fresh audience. What have they done?
Right. Well,
They've got some serious capital. They've got, the fundraisers that were happening. But where I'm coming at is, what have they specifically done on the veils of social media? I've never even seen anything on Facebook. I've never seen anything, like on much so like YouTube. You always see videos of everything on YouTube, and videos don't cost that much to make. And especially with YouTube, promoting the crap out of everything. Not one time have I ever seen anything about this.
You're talking about from Hasbro itself?
No, I'm just talking about like the campaign within itself, that they were trying to raise money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And see, in this aspect, I feel that they have failed the followers of the game. It was the people who was pretty much moving everything.
And many of us to some degree felt the same way last year too.
Right.
I mean, and I mean, we've already talked to this almost to nausea, actually to nausea. But yeah, no, I get it. And I mean, right now, all we have from this company that's going to be restarting Heroscape is just this press release. They are going to do a convention tomorrow. They might talk about more things. So if they do, we'll talk more about it on Sunday. But yeah, it's one of those things to where I hope that they do have some type of campaign that like they said, is three-way. That it you can direct it towards people who have never even heard of Heroscape before, some casual players and hardcore players, and really have a variety of options for people to fall in love with the game or fall in love with the game further.
Right, and where I'm going at is if they don't have the proper personnel to make it happen, they need to get somebody there who knows what they're doing or who knows how to manage that.
For sure.
I think that's a major difference that we're seeing now. And I mean, let me just hit the hopium. But like, it just based on, this press release and the limited amounts that we've seen, it seems like they're going into this with some semblance of a plan. Yeah. Whereas, during the Avalon Hill campaign, by the way, Chris, you're the man, like, they were super friendly, super personable, total homies, but like, it definitely seemed that it was like they were kind of knitting the parachute as they were falling out of the plane. Whereas like based on, and we've got so little to go off. Maybe they don't even have the licensing, and we're just going to get burned again. That's kind of my greatest fear right now. But like, it seems like they have a plan.
I think I'll be very happy when I see stuff on store shelves. I think that's when I'll know, and I'll be like, and it doesn't mean that it's like if they want to come on the show, if anybody working, I know some of them will be watching this podcast. If anyone want to come on the ToV podcast, or even like get with Austin Tabletop Bro, or get with other content creators who talk about Heroscape, who show Heroscape, contact us. Give us an opportunity to have a conversation. Yeah, go ahead.
I will go to your HQ and play you in a game of My Little Pony Adventures in Equestria, and if I win, you have to tell us everything.
Nice.
Well, if they're watching this podcast, if you would like to make some videos, you can call Ryan or myself. We would be more than happy to make you some more videos for advertisement purposes.
What do you mean by maybe they don't have the license?
Like, because so there was a specific thing that was said in the press release, which I am going to pull up right now so that I don't sound like a goofball. Or no, I'm sorry, not in the press release. It was in one of the statements that they made on the Discord server. Totally not me filling for time right now as I pull it up. Where they were saying so our typical MO in Heroscape is following that pattern is that we release a starter press release to help generate excitement. Then we'll go into details later. Firm up that's contacts, not contracts. I'm a goofball.
Yeah, I was going to say, Avalon Hill acknowledged the announcement. He said they wanted to share news, but life got in the way. So I think that it really seems like everything's above board.
My best friend Chris Nadeau, I hit him up. I'm sure he was getting bombarded and is sick of it. I didn't think about it because in my excitement, I was like, I want to know what Chris thinks. And he said, I'm glad we were able to resolve that question. The question being, what does my best friend Chris have to say about this? He's like, I'm glad it's going to come back. That's ultimately what mattered here.
Okay. Yeah. And I just want to give Cody a chance to talk because I know I was talking with Cody pre-show. And he's someone that is actually pretty much enthusiastic about everything. So Cody, when it comes to your thinking in your mind, when it comes to this game and what the possibilities for the future, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'm glad I get to be the dark horse on this podcast tonight with the hot takes. So yeah. In terms of sourness, I'm less than 1%. I wouldn't even call it sourness. I would just call it caution. But anyone that was in the Discord today knows that I was on there pretty much all day since like 12:30. But don't tell my boss about that. But yeah, here's why. There's a couple of reasons. One is part of it may be ignorance because I live in a Heroscape vacuum. I don't care really about any other game, to be honest. Especially not anything Hasbro is working on other than Heroscape. So I'm not really familiar with their failings as much as you guys might be. But as we were talking about before the podcast as well, there was some information, I'm sure we can go over that screenshot I sent you later, about that Renegade was involved in this. They've been working on this for months, not weeks, not days.
I pulled it up right now so people can read it.
Yeah. It makes me think that they were there ready to catch this ball as Avalon Hill was dropping it. Almost.
Can I be a stinky cheese real quick?
What's that?
So, and I'm not saying this to I'm totally saying this to harsh your optimism, but I don't actually want to harsh your optimism. I'm just, oh my God, I'm playing devil's advocate, which is a cringe saying, but Avalon Hill also claimed that they had been working on it for months ahead of time.
Years.
And then as we speculated, we were learning that they were literally making stuff up the day that they were publishing it, which, so that is kind of, I'm sorry, I'm being a total stinky cheese here, but that doesn't really hold weight.
No, and
I will go back to letting you be optimistic.
I see what you're saying, Austin. I mean, it's based on the perspective that a lot of people might think. So
yeah,
no, I get it.
I think I agree with that. I believe you should be cautiously optimistic on this, or nihilistic, whatever you want to be, or pessimistic. But I don't know. I'm going to take them at their word and believe that they have to have done some work up to this point, or not work necessarily, but working with Hasbro to get these licenses or whatever. But there hasn't been that much time since AOA failed and this, so that tells me that they were
November 15th.
They really wanted to get this deal done because I personally believe that as an IP and I think it's a home run for any company that picks this up, and I think Avalon Hill knew that. They just didn't know how to execute, and the company that does is going to be rewarded handsomely.
Either that or they did know how to execute it and they just weren't allowed.
Yeah, that could be it too.
Yeah,
that's my suspicion because a lot of people just kind of hate Avalon Hill, and I will forever be biased because they're very cheap to buy. Because Chris came onto my Chris is a huge fan, so I will always defend them. But I think a big part of it was Hasbro kind of and we've had this conversation a million times. But do you guys think the mini should be painted? Sorry. Anyway,
that was kind of random.
No, it's because I'm saying a conversation that's been had a million times before, and that's kind of the because that conversation has been had 50 million times. So it's anyway. But it's one of those things where it's I definitely think Hasbro screwed the campaign. Like, I think it was Hasbro that was like, you need to raise $3 million for this, and like Chris and Pat were just like, you know what I mean?
I mean, and Carmine's never been on my podcast, so I feel like I get to be a little less biased here. The whole thing was so frustrating because it was clear that all they got to do was hype it, right? They were given confines, they got to create it, and then once the actual discussion started, they just got to talk about how great it could be. And if you look at so many of the other decisions Hasbro made around that time frame, I mean, not to get too into the nitty gritty, but there was like a share like an investor call right after that Bank of America analyst thing came out. I don't know if you guys remember that, where everybody was talking about how Hasbro was going to go downhill because they're destroying Magic the Gathering.
And
I remember that. Yeah, the slash.
Right. Don't get me started.
No, I know. But there was an investor call where the CEO was talking about how great it was that they were finally being talked about at cocktail parties, and how their whole initiative was to get as much of their customers' wallet as possible. And if you looked at all the other products across like every Hasbro brand that they hyper focused on in the second half of last year, it was just these insane products oriented at whales. It was a like $350 Marvel Legends Ghost Rider set. It was $1,000 Magic 30th. It was nuts. Like, it was like, we need to get people who just have more money than sense or take advantage of them.
Well, while we're continuing down that rabbit hole, it probably has to do with the fact that Hasbro's new C-suite team, I know I may get a piece of this wrong. Ryan's just like, take the freaking, I caught myself there. Take the freaking tinfoil hat off. Their entire C-suite team that they hired last year all came from like Xbox Live and these services that basically they perfected the art of catering to the microtransactions and the whales.
I remember that.
And they were brought on to basically do that to, you know, current Hasbro properties. So I think, you know, everything is kind of like,
buy some skins.
yeah, buy some skins, man. So to kind of go off your point there, Lex, I mean, it sounds like it's everything is going according to plan to them.
Right. I'm gonna give Jeremy a chance to discuss what we've been talking about. If you got any thoughts, Jeremy, and then I'm gonna get to some comments on.
No, Jeremy sucks. Don't do that.
They are filling up. Because I know Jeremy. I think Jeremy is on the hype train a lot. I think he's a little bit cautious, but I think he's more hyped than most. Would you agree with that, Jeremy?
My brain hurt. No, it's just it's exciting, but it's also just, you know, I'm trying to wear my own expectations. I know how excited I can get about things, and you know, the AOA thing, like, I will say, was the most productive I've ever been as a content creator for a very good while, which is cool. Like, you know, I had missed the release experience of it. Like, oh, something just got dropped, let me go live and talk about it. Oh, you know, and tried to keep up with that. That was fun, and I was really, you know, I was excited and I was grateful to have the chance to do that. But then at the end of it all, you know, sitting on November 15th with nothing, it sunk. It created it created its own singularity. Like, the hype created the singularity because it just all crushed in on itself because it was so much work. I mean, I don't know if this is weird to confess on a live podcast. But no, nothing crazy. I was actually paying out of pocket to print posters for AOA, and I was posting it up in my local LSGs. I ended up walking for a very long distance because I didn't have a vehicle to do that, right? I put a lot of effort to spread the word, and just to find it not happening, like that actively messed me up. I was like, you know, because that was a lot of work that I did. Yeah. And I could only imagine what it was like for them, right? Because like, on my end, I did the bare minimum. I'm going to be honest, I did bare minimum. Going to the LGS, you know, talking with the game stores and be like, hey, Heroscape might be coming back. Here's a poster if you want to help me advertise it. I played Heroscape at the local LGS during that time. I've actually had people walk up and be like, is that what I think it is? I'm like, totally is. You know, that was cool interaction. That was really fun to do. But yeah, just at the end of it all, it was very difficult to kind of reconcile. I think that's the proper word, from that experience of putting all that work into it and then, you know, nothing.
Yeah. We were all down bad. I pre-ordered 9 copies.
Yeah. Jesus Christ!
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
That's your one.
Because we really wanted it. We really wanted it to succeed, and I know AOA I know Avalon Hill wanted it to succeed as well because they put a lot of work in it too.
Yeah.
And
As much as they could.
As much as they could. You know, we got to give them respect for trying as best as within the confines of their contract. I'd have to say. There's a lot of India nonsense with this. There's a lot of legal stuff, legalese. Hasbro legalese is really crazy. But yeah, they tried their best, and I do respect them for trying. And I do hope Renegade, with this different deal that we're seeing, they're not doing through HasLab, but they're doing a whole different system. That is what we needed for it to come back. Is a different route of release that maybe Avalon Hill didn't have access to, but Renegade does because they're a separate company. Things like that. Things that we're just gamers here. We play game. We get invested in the lore. We get invested in the gameplay and the rules and the competitions, but we don't own the product. So there's a lot of legal stuff that we're never going to find out unless we work there. So I'm cautiously optimistic because I want to put the same energy I had into this product that I did into AOA, and then not have it burn out at the very end of it again. Right. I don't need another Singularity because that was a lot. I did put a lot of work of my own time into promoting AOA, and I could only imagine how it was for the actual people, and then
the actual
else.
People who's like.
That was their job.
Please, just please don't release stuff every day. Don't release a little bit of stuff every day. Just do a drop like if
I know that daily releases.
Release
or if you're gonna
something.
do that, just tell us that it's gonna be a freaking like Kickstarter to begin with. Like so that we don't
prep us.
But
yeah,
I do think a point that I think was like that Cody made that you made that I think is like really resonating with me right now, and especially as Jeremy's talking about how much work it is, but you were talking about how quick the turnaround time has been, which it has been an insane turnaround time, and like I don't think you go through the effort to have a turnaround time like that unless you really care about the project, because and you're witnessing character development in real time, folks.
Right.
Because going in, I'm reading the press statement. They're like, "Oh, we care about the game." I'm like, "Okay, bro. Yeah, sure. Am I allowed to do that on the show, Ryan?" Anyway, I'm like, "Okay, buddy. Sure you are." But Cody's like, it's been what 7 months since it failed.
Yeah.
To secure the licensing, and that might be all they've accomplished in that 7 months. But to do that in such a short time frame, you have to actually want this to happen. And Jeremy's doing the bare minimum, which is not the bare minimum, Jeremy. You did not do. I did the bare minimum of making YouTube videos. You were out here on the streets talking to people. But yeah, to just put in all that effort on that fast of a turnaround time, it's like, okay, they're passionate. You guys have converted me into an optimist. So, Ryan, Lex, you guys are outnumbered now.
Yeah,
and Sean, not Scott.
I am the outsider.
Let me get to some of the comments here in the chat. Thank you everybody who has joined the chat tonight. Let me see here. Let me start. Okay, Kaizuki says, I didn't hear no bell. And Kaitsuki also says that's super, that's super good news not to be attached to Hasbro. Let's see here. And Kaitsuki also says, I hope the partnership with Hasbro Pulse mostly means they are getting AOA stuff produced. Yeah, and that's a question I'm going to ask actually in a second. Let me see here. Hold on. Rogadale says, well, we're robust and passionate. That's for sure. Solar Flexing. Hello, Solar Flexing. This is awesome, though I'm anxious to see how this will all roll out. Exactly. Arable says, now we can ask all the questions again. Are we getting painted minis? Will CVM be involved? Are the designs from AOA getting scrapped or used here? Yada, yada, yada. Solar Flexing says, please, no spruce, please, no spruce, please, no spruce. Okay. Rogadale says, Hatboro speedrunning, ruining community. Oh my goodness.
Bro, that's so true. Oh, you're on Twitch. You're reading those on Twitch. I'm only looking at the YouTube chat.
Twitch and YouTube, yeah. I can see both. I
got to step my game up.
Let's see here. Jonathan Leos. Hello, Jonathan Leos. Advertising is very crucial for sure. Arable says they could have just asked Mr. Beast. He does a video. First person who funds Heroscape gets 100K.
I don't think they can afford Mr.
Easy.
Beast.
Yeah, probably.
That's one of my local players, by the way.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Beast is one of your local.
wow.
Awesome.
No, Jonathan.
Oh.
Ah,
No, it's
That is very different than Jimmy Donaldson.
okay.
Mr.
So
Beast
when
just
they-
walks into a game store. Hey, what is that? Like, oh, let me introduce you to Heroscape. And then
I just
that's-
single-handedly funded this $3 million Kickstarter.
So when they announced this, but before they announced that it wasn't kickstarted, my immediate thought was they have like the funniest opportunity to screw this up of all time.
Oh no.
Like if they announced another Kickstarter and it was also $250, to me that would have been hilarious.
That,
God.
All right, let me finish these. Rogue Ideal
I
says,
would just cry. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Let me finish these. Rogue Ideal says, I just want to see a figure or an element and see the direction they're heading. The secrecy makes me excited but wary. Arable says, I'm hyped and nothing else. I just want to be optimistic that it works. The most exciting info for me would be to get a time frame right now. When can we get the stuff? Yeah, and they might say something. You know, Rogue Ideal says it's crazy. That it's just happening. No fighting in the trenches this time. Exactly. And
What do
so,
you guys think the timeline is?
I'll tell you what I'd like to actually personally see is a business plan.
right.
Hmm.
Well,
I would
one
like
of the
to see
things
what
here-
they want to do and how they intend to roll this out.
Let me pop this back up and reread some of this. So what they are, let's see here. What does it say they have? The return of Heroscape for hobby, mass, and specialty markets. So they're not just not specifying one market. They are targeting three, according to this. Let's see here. What else? Terrain packs, faction boxes, and more. So that means you can get terrain separately. You can get factions separately. It seems like. So that's good. Introduce new models with a variety of configurations, price points for both new and hardcore Heroscape players. And again, the tournament scene, which will be really cool to have like a world tournament. Wow. So those are
Yeah,
some
that's a
positive
big
things. Those are some
big
positive
thing.
things.
Ryan, can I add on to the end of that what you just said there about the World Championship?
Sure.
That, even though I might be the biggest optimist in the group right now, on the panel, that is the one thing that caught my eye when I first read it that concerned me, because what comes to my mind, like I was on the podcast a few weeks ago talking about C3V and just the community in general after Age of Annihilation failed, and the first thought that came to my mind is we already have a world championship. It's at ScapeCon. The community has been doing this. You know, you can't just. I guess I got my mind went defensive. I was like, you can't step in and take that away from me.
I think Mike's
that's
going to
what-
be in communication with them too.
Yeah.
So hopefully
and going off of that, I actually talked to Anais, I think her name is. She posted in the Facebook group.
Right.
I messaged her, and I believe Mike's been in contact with her, and I wanted to talk to her about regional events. As some of you might know, we do Mid-Atlantic Regional Scapers. It's like Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Virginia. And I asked her, you know, what the plan was for supporting us, and she said that there's more to come. And I'll quote her by saying, she said, the community seems super fun and welcoming. I can't wait to vibe with y'all. So take that for what it is, I guess.
And I think one big question, because it's been asked a few times in the chat already, and I have it in my notes, so I'm going to ask this one next. What do we think about, okay, so we had a campaign last year. We had these miniatures and factions and generals that we really, really liked, and that was at least half of the reason why it was so painful. Do we think that they'll bring these along for the ride? Do you think these miniatures will be released? I can see it going both ways, but what do you guys think? Let me start with Jeremy.
Let's see.
Will AOA return?
I don't know. So I guess trying to see. I guess I actually got to talk to Chris earlier. I sent him a message and I was just kind of like, you know, I mean, obviously he probably knew about the announcement, but I did send him the announcement, and I was like, if you helped with this anyway, just wanted to share that I appreciate that you helped with this, like bringing this to thing, and so he says, you know, bringing it back is what mattered, and that, you know, we were helping along the way. Like he said, we've had your backs along the way. Enjoy the magic. He'll be hanging out in the shadows. But like he explained that he helped bring it to this point. So right now where we're at with the Renegade stuff, Avalon Hill was somehow able to, I guess, build that bridge. I don't know, because it wasn't like super clear, but I would venture to say Avalon Hill has some sort of communication with Renegade, right? And as long as we make it clear in the Discord that we are interested in those units, I think Renegade would do their, you know, we'll probably look into seeing what they can do. Because I'd imagine we already have 30 cards, right? So they don't even have to make the cards for that. They just take the things that were released on the blog, make them into the classic card designs, and then actually make figures for them. They already have 30 cards to do that with, right? And then what remains is what was not released, even though we got names for it, and then seen from there. So there's already building opportunity there, if that makes sense. Because if they have the cards, I mean, it saves time, I guess, in a business sense.
It saves a lot of resources into designing.
The designs were finished, right? From what we know, the 30 cards that were released, those are finished designs. All they got to do is add figures to it, change the card designs. Done. That's a great start. If they just start with that 30, that's a great start. And then from there, build what we can build. And from what I can understand from the Discord, at least because I've been there since the announcement, so less than a day. But from what I get from the moderators of the Discord, they are very genuine and they are paying attention. So write what you want in the Discord. Post what you are most interested in seeing. I'm pretty sure they're taking notes, you know. And if things get missed along, then we'll yell about it here on the channel, you know. Like we'll be, hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? Hey, what about, you know, we can keep bringing it up, right? But like get your ideas already. You know, this is the time to get your ideas there. Join the Discord, join the Renegade, join the newsletter, right? Keep updated. And whenever they ask for our advice, you know, or ask for our opinions, that's when we post it. But as far as AOA is concerned, I think it would be awesome if they go with it, because there's already material there, and it's a great start, and then they can build from that and then continue from it, and then go back and work with Classic and all the other stuff, you know, because I just want the Admiral. I just really want the Admiral.
Dude, I want Clockwork Combine because they are objectively the best faction. If you disagree with me, you are wrong. The only obstacle I think they would face is the whole licensing thing. Like, I could see Hasbro being like, because here's, like, we have to remember, and I said that on the last episode that I was a guest on, I think I hammered this home, Hasbro's really stupid, right? They do stupid things for short-term gain. And I could totally see part of the deal of them licensing it. Dude, I will keep up the Hasbro hate until morale improves. But
tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, right. I could 100% see like Hasbro being like, fine, you know, like my headcanon is that like Chris and Patrick and the rest of Avalon Hill were fighting to, you know, they're like, look, Renegade wants the license, they'll do it right, just give them the licensing, we don't have to worry about it, you know, huge dubs, whatever. And then the evil Hasbro execs, you know, with the fire behind them, the roaring infernos of hell are going, but we keep the Age of Annihilation designs.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Professional Voice Actor. Yeah, I could see that being the only hiccup. But other than that, like Jeremy was saying, like, dude, it's a slam dunk.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think, Cody?
I'm going to be really upset if I don't get to see Thorman become a general and that sweet white and blue. I'm going to be so upset.
It's the same with like the lore, the story. Where are they going to carry the story? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Please don't start over. Because we already started over.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I also the Ironclad Collective. I love them as well.
Yeah.
I had to warm up to the bugs, but I love them still though. They're good too. But yeah, I don't know. My only concern would be it's a different, different company. Do they want to go in a different direction creatively? I think that would be the concern, in moving forward. Do they want to, like, is Age of Annihilation going to be a one-off and then they go in a different direction after that? Or do they continue with that entire theme? That would be my question. Right. I'm not sure. And then also, where does the War Council come into this? Are they going to be part of this or not? I mean, Age of Annihilation, they were very...
That's actually was going to be my next question.
From the forum digs, so I've been lurking in Discord for a long time today. From what I got from the AOA Discord, Sky Knight did not know, and did mention that they would love to be involved again, but they are not currently involved in this set.
I have breaking relevant news from Dadscaper, who is on the War Council. He said he has no meaningful information about today's news. Sorry, continue, Jeremy.
So the War Council that we know from AOA are not currently involved with this Renegade announcement, but that does not mean they won't be potentially pulled in for a future, or perhaps before this thing. We don't know. Yeah, that's just where we're at. We just got that press release. That's all we're at right now.
I'm also going to go a little bit deeper with the question too, and I'm surprised nobody has brought this up. Will Craig Van Ness be involved, or is he involved?
I've seen a lot of people bring it up, ask in the Discord. They have not said anything yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I hope so, because absolutely the last campaign, I mean, as far as I know, was not his fault. It was not his fault.
No, he.
This is his baby.
He was passionate.
It's like separating George Lucas from Star Wars.
To be fair, we saw what happened when George Lucas had full reign over Star Wars,
and
it wasn't great
when it got out of his hands too. Okay, enough of Star Wars. That can lead to a whole
imperfect metaphor, but get what you're saying.
Hey, there was going to be Star Wars Heroscape. We could have been talking about.
There's still time.
There's still time.
Can I chime in here on the CVN thing?
Go ahead.
Absolutely not.
My hot take. I love CVN. Heroscape is one of my favorite games of all time. I think CVN is an incredibly talented designer.
But
I'm in whether he's here or not. I think the Heroscape community has something about this game just attracts so many wonderfully talented and creative people that would I love for CVN to be involved? Sure. Do I think VC did a great job without CVN? Sure. I think there are a bunch of custom communities that have just done excellent work. And honestly, as much as I like a lot of the War Council's output in VC, I do wonder if I'd rather see some fresh perspectives on it.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a spicy take.
It's. I guess I'm just a little cautious for that. I mean, as long as the job is done good. Yeah. I mean, handing over the reins, I guess, is always a worrisome thing. Sometimes you gotta learn to trust, I guess.
VC in itself is another huge topic that I'm very concerned about what's going to happen with that, because Avalon Hill was pretty clear about being respectful about that stuff, and I'm sure Renegade will be too, but they haven't specified.
It is a new company, so we do have to be hey, just to let you know.
Can I actually question code? Actually, go ahead, Lex. I've been talking too much. Go for it.
No, my bad. I just answered, but I wanted to roll back to that last question because I didn't get to chime in. If that's all right. My conspiracy theory here about the AOA stuff is to look at this from a different angle, which is if you look at the marketing psychology of even putting out a press release like this, you wouldn't do it unless you had some reason to engage your community within the next 3 to 6 months. It's a bad idea.
So there's something they're holding back. Yeah.
So what that means is either this is the wrong time to release it, which is possible, or it could mean that we'll have some general direction to throw our money in the next 6 months. And if that's true, that probably means that they have much more of an idea kind of what these products look like than they're letting on. And to their credit, in their initial press release, they talked about product modeling, right? You wouldn't do that if you had no idea what you were putting out. Right? They're already talking about things like, they literally asked a question about what sleeves for cards should look like, if they can do them in a binder or if they need to be removable so you can put them on the table. Why would you do that first? That's not even in the first 50 steps you would tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the most likely possibility is either they went to Avalon Hill and they worked something out to kind of continue some of these AOA designs, or They went to Avalon Hill with ideas of their own, and they were already partially in development, and they're confident that they can get to a releasable state within the next 6 to 12 months.
Right.
Yeah.
My optimistic headcanon is like, what if they just came in, they just bought the licensing, they just balled out. They're like, we're based in San Diego, we've got cajillionaires on our roster. Let's just buy out the 3 mil, take the infrastructure, and then just produce AOA.
That's crazy.
All right.
So Mr. Beast in secret.
So yeah, like low key.
So someone asked to come join the fray, and I'm like, yes. So we got Mike OEAO, who leads ScapeCon for like the last few times in this year. Mike, how are you doing tonight, sir? Oh, you're on mute. Oh, there you go.
Yes, I am. I am very excited. I couldn't be more excited about this announcement. It is super hype. I never really got that excited about AOA for a couple reasons, and this time I'm a lot more optimistic that it's gonna, for context, right? Like AOA dropped right like the week after we signed a contract with our hotel for ScapeCon 3, so we were immediately financially on the hook. And like then the week later they drop and say, hey, it's coming back. So now we're thinking like, oh crap, like we're doing this, the week after Gen Con. What if they're running a ton of events at Gen Con, which means everybody goes there, which means we owe them, not a tremendous sum, but 4 digits, like not nothing money for sure. Right. So like, and by the time that blew over, then they dropped the campaign, and we all know how that went. And as soon as I saw that, right, we were at our first tournament that we ran here in Mass for the first time in a while, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, 8,000 backers, they're out of their mind. That's just not happening. There's just no way. So I found it very tough to get excited after that point. So this time around, yeah, so much more excited. The communication is already better. It's gonna be good, I think. What the heck do I know?
You're on the hype. You're very much on the hype.
I am. I'm more concerned with like just the nature of licensing agreements. I've played a lot of Fantasy Flight games, and multiple times now they've had a license yanked from them, which killed a game that was otherwise thriving. For example, Wizards of the Coast back in probably 2016 or 17 yanked the Netrunner system from Fantasy Flight Games when Android Netrunner had just gotten a new core set, right, to revitalize the game and get everybody excited. And then immediately WotC is just like, yeah, no, we're taking it back. Games Workshop did the same thing to them, which is why like Forbidden Stars, which is a fantastic game, never got an expansion, was because they pulled the Warhammer license away from them. They also had like the Warhammer 40K Conquest card game ongoing at that time, and they had been working together for a while at that point. There were a number of very good Fantasy Flight games that were based in the Warhammer universe, and so that is my bigger concern, is that just one day someone might wake up and say, hey, we're taking this back, and guess what, like WotC never did anything with Netrunner, right? And it's been like 7 years. So they just decide one day, hey, we're going to yank this from you for whatever reason. Nobody knows why. Obviously, it's complicated and whatever, but somebody just woke up one day, said that, and they took it back, and now they're just sitting on it. So, but look, more Heroscape is better than nothing. So I'm in.
The only thing that makes me not so afraid of that is just how big the partnership between Renegade and Hasbro is. I mean, this is like the 6th or 7th game that Renegade licenses out from Hasbro. So anything Hasbro would do like that would have to come with other baggage.
Right. And again, it's kind of the same thing with the Games Workshop and FFG. And I get it that like, hopefully this will be bigger. Some of the titles here are definitely bigger than what Fantasy Flight put out, but again, that was a long-standing, probably about a decade, with at least 6 or 7 different titles, including 2 long-standing card games. And again, they yanked that. So that's more my concern. But I mean, look, I'm absolutely optimistic. I'm hoping it's not going to happen. You're absolutely right as to that partnership. It's just partnerships go sour all the time, and that's the nature of it, is that you just never know. So I guess one other real quick thing, Cody, I definitely my mind obviously went to ScapeCon when I first read it, but if look, we had a great run. If it's over, it's over. You know, 3 years. I don't suspect it'll be fully over. You know, maybe it has to change form in some way. Maybe it has to move location. You know, maybe it has to move timing. Who knows? You know, just it's way too early to tell. And again, I've already been in contact with her, and it is, you know, I'm already more optimistic than again the last time, just being blindsided and then just being completely ignored. Like, hey, yeah, no, we're not giving you any information. So like, figure it out. So we'll just have to see.
Awesome.
All right. Let's see here. I'm not gonna show too many because we do have a couple of screenshots. I showed one already, but we're already, let's see, I'm looking at the time. I don't want to go too over tonight. We'll discuss some things on Sunday, I believe. But there's one that I did, let's see, I did take a pic of. And I know Cody took some too. And I know I want to get those covered sometime, but I just want to show this one real quick. Where Scott, who's the president of Renegade,
Not Sean, Scott.
Exactly. And he had this meme, just wait, and he's like, keep in mind that we have a rollout plan, and no, we're just going based off what he's saying, so I'm just going to trust that everything he's saying is true. Keep in mind that we have a rollout plan. Today was just an announcement that Renegade will be making the game. Over the next few months, more and more will come to light. Some is because we're working behind the scenes, and some things are because we want to get the community better and gather feedback. So this is one of the reasons why we're doing this tonight. This is one of the reasons why you guys are coming on, because this is what the ToV podcast is. It's not just one person. It's a group of individuals who primarily love Heroscape, who have their thoughts and ideas, and we want to get it out there, and we want to show people, creatives who create this game, who potentially will create this game, give ideas and thoughts from the community. So this is one of the things I appreciate about the podcast. And then he says, we've been reading your posts and watching your videos for months now, so it's nice to finally have a two-way street of communication. I'll just end by saying, just wait. So, you know, I don't mind doing that. I'm quite happy with waiting, primarily because after the last 3 episodes of Tales of Hell, the Aftermath Chronicles Season 3 are released, I plan to take a long break because I feel like I deserve that. Then I'll be back like when ScapeCon happens. And then I'll be willing to be like, okay, I'm willing to talk whatever Renegade wants to talk about after that. I'm cool with that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And I personally, I look forward to it. Once again, this was a surprise. I mean, I think the only thing, I told Jeremy this early, the only thing that was missing was a super cool trailer that they did not, they might do something tomorrow. They might do something tomorrow.
But it's just, we're just waiting and it just happens. We're like, there it is.
But, you know, I'd be happy even without that. As long as they give some detail on things and say when they're give a timeline and when they're going to announce things, I'd be happy with that too.
They did kind of imply a little bit that something's going on tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was it they said specifically? A screenshot of it. It was something like about wanting to be a surprise.
I think the president said he didn't want to spoil it. I think that's what the words he
that was what it was, because I think I maybe was a little more negative than I meant to be. I was like, yeah, they're kind of dodging the question. He's like, oh, we're not dodging. We just don't want to spoil it. I was like, oh,
I'm calling it right now. My Little Pony Heroscape crossover.
Hey, I buy it. That would be fun to put in
play that against the target audience for My Little Pony, but not any men over the age of 13.
That's My Little Pony's audience.
Listen, if we get some nice, like, Lisa Frank style terrain on the My Little Pony set, I'll pick it up for the terrain. Give me that acid trip, like pastel color kind of. I'm in.
Yeah, we're a bunch of nerds here, aren't we? All right. How about guys? I mean, we could discuss this all night, and any other time I probably would. But
well, la-dee-da. Ryan wants to go to bed at a reasonable hour.
Oh, there's a lot of work I need to do after this is done because I need to get a podcast from last Sunday out in order to get this one out tonight. So there's work I need to do. But I think we got the ball started, the ball rolling on this, and I will allow everybody to have final thoughts. Plug whatever social media or whatever YouTube channel that some of us might have. and they're definitely not in the description below now. They might not ever be in the description below, but if I do, go to them, please. They all have fantastic content, all of them. So how about I start with Jeremy, the Elysium Cult. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. It's been a day. Final thoughts. I'm definitely excited, definitely optimistic, but cautiously optimistic. Going to tune into the stuff tomorrow, and going to hopefully. I don't know. I don't know if they'll announce anything, or if they'll just be like, "Hey, guess what? We announced Heroscape," and then that's it. So tempering my expectations as best as I can. But yeah, there's gonna be a show tomorrow that they're having. We don't know if they will be announcing Heroscape. Let's hope they are. We'll tune into then, see what's going on, and then we're just gonna. Okay, so I know I'm probably just gonna mention here. I know I made a promise to create lore videos for, I think it was every 50 backers we got on the AOA launch, and I still have not completed that task. I made 2, and then the holidays happened. Christmas happened. You all know about Christmas, right? The spirit of Christmas, magic. Man. Okay. Anyways,
I celebrate Hanukkah.
Yes, I did not.
I don't actually, but I just want to be a snake.
I do plan. I gotta do that. So if you haven't heard about it, if you haven't heard it, check it out. It's on. You can actually look it up. It's Wanderers of the Wellsprings was the name of the series that it started, and there's supposed to be 1-minute shorts on YouTube that's going to go over the lore of Heroscape and kind of catch everyone up with the major story bits, like what are the Valkyrie, what is the Kiri, what is the War, what is Valhalla, those the big terms and stuff like that. And I was working on that last year. So now that Heroscape is coming back, I'm going to keep on working on it, and I'm going to try to actually get those videos released. So if you don't mind checking out my channel at the Eslam Collate or at the Eslam, you can actually, I'm in chat right now in the Twitch, so you can actually follow my name through that system. And just I will definitely keep everyone updated as much as I can. I do plan on trying my best to keep everyone informed of the story, and just be like, hey, so this is what happened, this is what to expect, what might happen in this new release, and if they decide to completely go off and make a new story, let's try to figure out where it connects, and things like that. And it's gonna be pretty fun, because as much as I hope they continue the AOA story, I don't know. Like, if they don't, then that's 3 timelines. Let's go. Oh, it's gonna be great though. I'm excited, and I'll be sticking around. So I yield my time to the next content creator.
Thank you, sir. Cody, go ahead.
Yeah.
Man, I know there's so much that's been said. I'm glad that we could go from negative to positive, as Biggie Smalls once said in a podcast. But it's good to go get everybody on that train, on the hype train, everybody watching. And I just want to say, when Age of Annihilation kicked off, I had been active in the community, but not nearly as much. When that kicked off, that gave me like a reason to get more involved, and then join Ben and Ryan at the with the Mid-Atlantic Regional Escapers group. And this kicking off makes me want to get even more involved. Now, I'm already brainstorming ideas. I think I might make a poster or something, because I plug June 25th at Salisbury, Maryland. We're having another tournament, getting ready for EscapeCon. So anybody in the area or anybody outside the area that wants to come join us, you're more than welcome. I think we're actually probably going to hit our biggest number in Salisbury already. So that's pretty cool. I think we're going to be closing on like 16 people this time. So yeah, the community is growing big time. I mean, especially in our region, I'm sure other regions. Before Heroscapers went down, I was seeing a lot more events pop up. So, and that was before this. So imagine where it's going to go now.
Yep.
I'm excited.
For sure. Any place people can reach you, like on Discord?
Oh yeah, for sure. So all that information is posted on Facebook and Discord. We have a Mid-Atlantic Regional Escapers Discord as well, which is penned in the directory on the Heroscapers Discord. Or you can just reach me directly on Facebook or Discord or whatever if you need the details. And yeah, that's it, I think.
Anybody can reach out to me, and then I can guide the way as well, for sure. And for any of these guys, really. If someone's like asking, where can I get the? I can show. Okay, thank you, Cody. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, not a ton to plug other than, as Cody mentioned, local scenes are definitely getting back up and running, and especially in the last year, definitely seen a resurgence, largely on the back of AOA, running New England events again and having people come to it that were completely inactive for a decade was really cool. We've had 5 already. We're going to have another probably in September, post-ScapeCon. Just too much going on before then. Yeah, and the great part is that I don't have to have the uncomfortable conversation with the game store owner, who's great, that we did during AOA dropped and we were at the store and this was our first event. So I only kind of knew the guy and, it's like, oh yeah, Heroscape's coming back. Oh wait, we can't order it through you. If we're going to support this, we have to order directly from the supplier. And it was such a, what a crappy thing to have.
So awkward.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, and I think Lex hit it, nailed it when earlier, because, supporting the game stores is so huge to be able to build the community. So I'm just really looking forward to that aspect. And we've been consistently getting about a dozen people, which, considering the New England scene really died out in 2013, is I'm very happy with, for now. So it's never been a hugely active region for gaming in general. It's not as active as Mid-Atlantic for just most communities I've been in. Texas is a big one for gaming. Midwest, like Chicago, has a good gaming community, but the New England has never been a huge scene. So yeah, just really excited for that. ScapeCon Indy is going to be great again. We've got potential other plans, but nothing that can be announced yet. But if ScapeCon keeps going, it'll be great. And we'll just have to see what the community wants to do, what ends up happening. World Championship sounds great. So I'm excited. And it'll be great to be able to fully compete again and not have to worry about running it. So.
And Mike also runs Casters of Valhalla, which is another Heroscape podcast where they get really technical. If you want to know how to play the game and play the game well, listen to the Casters of Valhalla podcast. They do a great job there. Anything else, Mike?
No, that's it. Thanks for letting me crash.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Anytime.
Wait, Mike. Painted or unpainted? We've never had this conversation before. This is a conversation that's never been had in the history.
If it's not painted, they are, not only will I not buy it, but they are terrible people for selling it on the market.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay. Sean, go ahead.
Oh, wow. Where do I begin? I'm going to say a lot of things that are probably not popular. One thing I would like to see is I would like to see the game pieces be able to be 3D printed at will. I think that would create more of a fan base to get it out in more people's hands. The cards, everything like that, I think they need to give the people what they want on that level. You're going to create more of a fan base. You're going to make people happy. It's kind of like, going back to the terrible Star Wars analogy, when you had the fans creating canon, okay, it worked. It worked itself out. Right. And if you do the same thing in this aspect, it will work. But, if you're trying to hold the rights and trying to micromanage it, it's going to plummet. I hate to say it. It's going to be like a kite going on a nosedive, sadly. Wish I could say something a little bit more positive in this aspect, but the fans are the ones, is from even what I'm hearing from you guys, you guys have been doing the legwork, unfortunately you've been pulling your own funds, your own money to print out a poster. It's not that that's expensive, but that's something that a fan should never have to do to help bring something forward. That's something that the creators needed to be doing. And on that aspect, they're failing miserably, but I hear they've got a plan. I'm seeing that they've got a plan. I think what they're doing is what they call a slow rollout. And it's good. It builds tension. It builds the whole environment. And, a lot of people want to see this happen. But if you're going to do it right, you got to give the fans everything. You can't hold anything back. That's just my 2 cents.
All right, and Sean, go ahead and plug your YouTube and your Twitch.
Spirik.tv / it's just / Spirik at Twitch.
And he does gaming quite often there, so he's
Yeah.
quite a guy to talk to.
I'm a nut job. That's a better way to say it. A professional nut job.
One of the reasons why I chose him to voice Sergeant Drake Alexander. All right, Austin, go ahead, sir.
Oh man, what do I talk about? So much. I'm excited that Heroscape is coming back because I was running out of content ideas for Dungeon World.
Just in time.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, I'll just full disclosure. My last video on D-Dubs kind of bombed, and I'm like, holy crap! I have no idea what I'm doing. So this is great because now I can just beautifully pivot and. You know, no, I didn't run out of ideas. Heroscape just like, come on, bro. I gotta report on the news. But yeah, definitely gonna be making more of them Heroscape videos. And let me just put head in butts. My audience is now like twice the size I was during Age of Annihilation, so maybe that'll help. Who knows? And then yeah, I definitely feel like. Oh no, it's the press release. It's day one. You know, anything could happen. Right. We could learn anything. You know, they could be like, and I was going to ask this earlier, but we're wrapping up, but I'll just ask it now for you to ponder on, everyone, but it was mostly directed at Cody. We get new Heroscape. It's relaunched, it's revived, it's healthy. It's not a Kickstarter. But all of VC gone. 86 VC. Not canon, trash. Throw it away. Do you take that Faustian bargain? You can answer the question. I don't know. It's Ryan's show. Ryan, do you want to let them answer the question, or should I?
I think it's something to think about. I think that's just something to think about.
Yeah. I don't think that's actually going to happen, but I'm just doing content bits. But yeah, stoked. Looking forward to reporting on it and becoming a journalist again. If anyone from Renegade has made it this far, I live in San Diego, bro. Like. I'm a micro influencer, man. I have almost 3K subs.
Playtesting.
What was that?
I said playtesting. Get into playtest.
Just saying. All right, I cede my time. I can't think of anything else.
All right, thank you, Austin. And I hope to Austin sometime in the future, since I hopefully will get a break, that I want to play Pathfinder sometime, man. You know?
I'll put you in touch with people who play Pathfinder's not really my thing.
Well, I know you were talking about it a little bit, so.
My first 2 videos are about Pathfinder, but I played Pathfinder with D&D YouTubers, but my main game's like Dungeon World and Rules Light stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I'd be happy to run it for you or put you in touch with people who actually... Because my only thing is I wouldn't want to run Pathfinder for you because I don't know Pathfinder like that well, and I feel like I do a crappy job of it.
I still gotta discover it. I know I played it once and it was fun, so you know.
I'll put you in touch with some people.
Gracias, senor. All right, now Lex, go ahead, give your final thoughts and plug away.
Yeah, so I'll try to make it really quick. First off, I haven't really had a channel, but I'm actively reconsidering that. So you can find me at Scapelex on YouTube, because I keep working my way into making content, and I think I'm going to start posting videos and such. Second, I am just beyond excited. I could not be more excited about this. I think something that isn't really sticking in with a lot of people is that Heroscape has never had the opportunity to be aimed at this audience. And what I mean by that is Heroscape has always been something that's in a mass market store with super low margins, designed to sell a bunch of copies or completely fail. It's never been designed to be a hobby game experience, even when Wizards of the Coast had it. It's never had real prize support. It's never had organized play. All of those things could help this game succeed. And I know so many people, and I bet every one of you has had this experience, who has gotten someone to play Heroscape because they saw it. So imagine what it means now for there to be incentive to set these titles up at a game store, where a game store can monetize having this in front of everybody who walks in. That's traffic that Walmart could never get. You don't get that experience from looking at a box. So I'm so psyched. And to speak to Tabletop Bros' point earlier, I think VC should keep going. I think VC should roll as nothing happened. I mean, play this new Heroscape. That's great. I want to see y'all still make customs. I know I want to see NGC still make customs. I want to see C3G still make customs. I don't know who else exists there out there. Like, if you make customs that go in your closet and nobody ever sees them. I hope that you don't let this new release discourage you. Keep it up. Like, that's why Heroscape is so great. It encourages so many of us to be creative. And as psyched as I am about this Renegade release, I hope that doesn't stop. So I'll yield my time. Sorry to spit that all out.
Oh, you're
You're right on, bro.
You're just dropping bars.
exactly.
Dude, that was the control verse. That just launched your career.
Yeah, no, and really,
like making
Lex,
a monster
I mean,
moment.
you are releasing. I mean, you're going to be releasing waves of new generation customs stuff. You should get a YouTube channel and showcase that stuff. Absolutely, and
Right.
talk about it.
Yeah, until we get cease and desist.
well, hopefully that's not the case. I mean,
Hey, Nintendo hasn't sued me yet, and I've used their music, so I
yeah, I recognize that that's the music you use. I recognize it right away.
so I've been trying to use it less because I don't want to be an indentured servant to Nintendo for the rest of my life. But I mostly use Maple Story music, and Nexon hasn't. If anything, I've been driving people. That's a tangent, but anyway.
Nintendo music isn't worth a third of your income for the rest of your life.
Dude, worst thing that's gonna happen, your video gets demonetized, but you have to get monetized first, and then your video gets demonetized, and then you don't make $3 off of it over a year. Like,
Pennies.
Yeah.
no one's gonna kick your door down because you're making Heroscape content and throw you. Well, it is Hasbro.
Wait, they already got the Pinkertons. They got to put them to use.
They send the Pinkertons as miniatures. That's the warning. That's how it starts.
Oh my dude, Renegade, you need to drop a Pinkerton Heroscape. Like, that should be wave 1, Pinkerton. That would
Oh
be
my
so
gosh.
funny.
Send the message.
Everybody
is
who doesn't know
peak
Heroscape
content.
would totally buy that. Let me just address a few more of the comments here in the chat, because I don't want those to go ignored. Okay, tabletop bro. I'll ignore that comment. Let's see here. Who is let's see here. Kayatsuki says, I think they're either going to be painted or have the option. Also says, I'm hearing all different packs they're planning on offering. Yeah, and I think they're going to have a variety of things probably. Joe Crazy, who jumped on the chat there for a second. G.I. Joe collab, LOL. Yeah, that'd be funny to have some. It'd be fun to have some G.I. Joes. Let's see here. Joe Crazy also saying, teaching someone how to play Heroscape tonight. Joe, do it, man. Do it. Keep on spreading that good news. Let's see here. Kaitsuki says, I'm a bit late on stream again, but my kids would totally love playing on the Rainbow Lisa Frank terrain.
In reference to the My Little Pony mashup.
Yes, exactly.
Someone from Renegade did respond positively to that idea when I mentioned it earlier, by the way. So I kind of hope it. I can't remember who it was. I know it was. I'll have to find out later. But she was like, "Oh, that is a good idea." On that.
And I do thank everybody who commented on the chat. You guys that keeps this podcast going and running. Thank you guys so much for the chats. I am Ryan, Tales of Valhalla, and I suppose just the final thought I have for this whole situation, and my message for Scott and the team out there. Just make sure to keep the goodwill of the community. Spread it, and I don't think you'll be steered wrong. As long as we get goodwill, you'll receive goodwill, and we'll see what happens in the future. And like I said, reach out to us. Reach out to Austin. Reach out to Joe Crazy. Reach out to these content creators, and just get the conversation going, because we're ready. We've been ready for a long time. That's one of the reasons why we do this. And I will finish by plugging my own stuff, which you saw at the beginning of the live stream. June 14th, June 18th, and June 21st, I am releasing the last 3 episodes of Tales of Valhalla, The Aftermath Chronicles, which is a stop-motion adventure based off the board game Heroscape, which I've been working on for way too long. Finally finished, and coming near the end of Season 3 here. And I just can't wait to show all this, and honestly, it's just a proof of concept. And like Joe Crazy likes it when I say this, I'm just getting started. I plan to take a break, but I'm just getting started with this. And it's me being not a gamer, not someone who understands the whole gaming market, I approach this as a filmmaker and someone who loves storytelling and who loves to do storytelling. That is my passion. That is my drive. So I look forward to premiering that on the stream starting next Wednesday, and we'll probably do something Sunday with this whole Heroscape thing. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I appreciate all you guys for coming on. Like I said before, this is what the ToV Podcast is all about, to bring individuals together to discuss the our most favorite game of all time, Heroscape. And it's so cool to have this going on again, even though part of me is going like, I still feel pain at the same time. Again,
dude, it's so fun.
We
didn't talk about that. It's so freaking fun. Like
yes,
I went on the Discord for the first time in like a very long time since AOA. It's so fun, dude. Getting caught up in the hype, the discussion.
Yes, absolutely.
Hop on the train while you can.
We have a great community. So with that, yeah, go ahead.
The request for sources, the constant request.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
the constant discussion about whether or not the minis will be painted or not, and whether that's a good idea. I poke fun because I love it.
I love you guys. All right, we will end this.
I'm hyped for finale.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. You have a purpose in your life. Find it, pursue it, live it. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye now.
Wholesome AF.